right, so today we will be going through understanding the project financials. And what this means is this is separate from like a billing type, which would be like a fixed rate or fixed rate and expenses or type on a project. This would actually be where the standard role-based or skill-based, so where the billable and cost rate is coming from. We're going to demo this and I'll show you also like a longing time against the project and how that will affect the billing, the details in the financials on the project. By the way, my name is Lexi. I cover the customer success, customer support, and knowledge materials. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. There's also a Q&A box that you can use as well. The main objectives today would be to understand when to use the different billing and cost rates, as well as review how to set up, manage different financials on the project, and discuss how to navigate to different features like the manage rate features, and when and why you may need to force the financial recalculation on a project. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and set up the 3 different project types here. We have a standard, a role-based, and a skill-based project. And I'll just go through the details on how to set that up. So for the standard billing rate and cost rate, this will be the only rate that you will need to enter the billable day rate and the billable, and the cost day rate on the project. After entering this in and the allotted hours per day for your users, the billable hourly rate and cost hourly rate oh, thank you for that note. I'm sorry about that. So I'll just go back. This is the standard project here. And what that means is that I have the billing rate set to standard and the cost rate set to standard. So that means, regardless of the allotment on the role or the skill, the project is going to use the rates here. So I've already set up the actions on the project. I'm just going to give you a preview of that before we go ahead and view the project financials on this project according to the hours scheduled here. So, let's go ahead and view the details. So you see here we have hours scheduled is 30. And according to the billable rate set on the project, we have our scheduled value. We also have the scheduled value for the cost. And the rest of the financial information will populate on the project. Say for instance, you've done the actions, created the actions and added them to the project before defining the project financials, then you will need to go ahead and hit a force financials recalculation on the project. So that would be this field here. Now you also may have different cases where you will need to change the rate for a specific period of time on the project, or you might have a special agreement that you have with your customer that you may need to do a different rate on the project. So then you would use the manage rate feature. Now this will look different according to the billing rate and cost rate that you have on the project. Since we have a standard it's just going to give me the option to make rate adjustments to those fields on the project detail. In this instance, we are going to bill at a rate of $100 hourly for this customer, just for the first month. So we'll go ahead and add this rate adjustment and then ensure that the details on our project match up to that. So of course, these fields will not change on the project. This is the overall standard that we have set for it. But according to the time that's scheduled for the project, anything scheduled within December 1st to the 31st should have changed. Now notice this has not updated, so we're going to go ahead and force a recalculation on the project. Notice that this field is still checked, which means that the process has not run through all the way. Once this, it should automatically uncheck itself once the process has run successfully. So let's go ahead and go back up, and you can now see that the hours scheduled and the cost rate was the same, but the hours scheduled billable has been updated. All right, we are going to go ahead and go on to a role-based project. So just for the sake of setting this up, I do have the role rate here for Colin, which would be 175 per hour, and the cost rate is at 120 per hour. So let's view this on the details of the project. Notice that there are no values here, and that will be because it's going to be pulling from these fields here on the role record. So if there are any actions allocated to different action owners other than Colin, then the rate would be according to what's on their record. So let's view the project financial details, which would be here according to the hours scheduled and the cost schedule. We are also going to view a rate adjustment on this project as well, so that you can see any person that has a record owned by them on this project will show up here for the role-based override. And then we can just enter the values that we would like. So for this project, I would like to bill Colin at $200 per hour. And then the cost rate for that would be the same. You can also add additional roles or manage the rates for other users. But just for the sake of time, I'm going to change it just for Colin, force the financial recalculation, and then view the project details. Please feel free to let me know if I'm moving too fast or if you have any questions during the process. Right. Notice this should go up when we force the recalculation. Again, this has not gone through yet because the checkbox is still checked. So we're going to run it one more time. And let's go over the project details. So as you can see, the hours scheduled value billable has gone up according to the rates that we have adjusted for Colin. Okay, so I do have a question from Vicky that says, I missed the very beginning. For the standard rate, was the budget amount entered at the project level? That would be a yes. The budget amount will be on the project budget field here. And this is something that I entered manually for this project. That would be the same for role-based. I have already entered the project budget here. Very welcome. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the skill-based project where the rates will actually be defined on the by the skill that's assigned to the action owner. So to go into further detail, let's view the create actions page. And again, I've already set this up. So I've assigned different skills to each action here. And notice all of these are owned by Colin, just so that once we go to his record and see the skill rates, we won't have to skip between different roles. So I'll go ahead and save this. And I'll show you on the role record, or we're going to go to a related list for Colin. So the skill assignments and rates will be particular to the user that it's, or to the role that it's related to. So since this is on Colin's role, these will be the billable and cost rates for Colin. So I will go ahead and show you how we have this set up. We have both the billing rate and the cost rate set to skill-based. Again, there will be no figures here because it's pulling from these skill assignments. And then we have the project financial information here. So let's say for this example, that when for the first year of this project, so we're starting in 2021, that the rates are how we assign them for Colin. But let's say this project goes on past into 2022, and now we need to define a new rate for the different skills for Colin. So let's say for the entire next year, that Colin's rates will change. So for the admin, we're going to say that his rate has increased to 175. And it now costs us $100 per hour. And then we assign which skill we're making this adjustment to. So what this means is that any action that has this AADM 201 skill assigned to it will have these new rates that we've defined here. Now this will not stay on Colin's record. So say for instance, he's also working on another project and it's gone from 2021 to 2022. If these rates have not been defined on that different project, then it will still be using the 2021 rates. So you want to make those rate adjustments and then make sure to update the skill assignments for that new year at the beginning of that new year. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this for the rest of the project. We're going to say that it now costs us $140, and his dev work will go up from 185 to 200. Now, you do want to be careful. So for Colin, he's assigned to the Dev 401 skill and not a Dev 501 skill. So you want to make sure everything's matching here. Then we're going to do one more for the configuration skill. And for configuration, he's going up to 275. And we are now costing 175. So let's go ahead and save this. Again, you can also add more roles, more skills. On this project, I own one of the milestones, so my role record is being shown here. But since I'm not assigned to any actions, we won't need to make any changes here. Let's save. And just for the sake of it, we're going to view the project financials before doing the recalculation so that we can see how this is adjusting after the update. Nope, checkbox is still there. So one more time. Project is now updated. And so are the financials. So let's go ahead and see how time would be logged against a project like this. So we are going to log time against the design wireframes action. And just for the sake of seeing which skill is assigned, that would be the admin 201 skill, which we made that rate adjustment to. All right, so let's go back and log some time on behalf of Colin. This is the utility bar that I'm using here, which will be within the mission control application at all times. Update this to Colin. And let's log 2 hours. So now update the status on that action to in progress as well. Notice I didn't select non-billable or a different option on here because what is defined on the project will automatically update to the related action. So say for instance, this is a non-billable project. If I have non-billable check marked on the project level, milestone level, or the action level, then at that point it would then be marked non-billable. But then in this case, let's just see how this has updated on our project. All right, so we now have 2 hours logged, and we are going to view how this has updated on the project level. We're also going to drill down onto the time log, action, and milestone to show that these fields are also being updated on those objects as well. So we can now see that hours completed has been updated for Colin, logging that time. And let's see how that updated for the time log. So I just went to the time log tab. I'm going to go to this related time log. You can see that this skill is assigned on the time log level as well. Hours completed is 2. And we have our updated hours completed field here. Let's go up to the action level. And this should be the same. Hours completed. And the milestone as well. Hours completed has now updated. All right, we have now gone over how to set up those billing and cost rates, how to log time and update the project once changes are made to the financials, and how to use the manage rate feature. Does anybody have any questions so far? I don't have any questions yet in the chat. This also, just a reminder, this is an open discussion now that we've finished the demonstration. So if you have questions unrelated to the project financials, then please feel free to put them in the chat as well. Anything that is I'm unable to answer over the chat, I will reach out to that user once I do have an answer for you. All right. We have one question in regards to setting up fixed fee project billing. Just let me get my screen back up here, and I will show you that. All right, so I'll create a new project so that we can see how to set up a fixed price project. And the great thing about mission control is we have a few validation rules already on the project. So say you have users that are going to be logging time against this project. If they do not have, if you have the validation rule active to not allow someone to log more time than what is allocated, then it will send them an error message when they're trying to log time outside of the fixed fee pricing. So in mission control, when a billing event is created for a fixed fee project, the project amount is calculated based on a number of scheduled hours rather than completed hours. So that would be the difference here. I did this out of order, but we're going to launch the project, set up the project financials before adding the actions. So what you're referring to is the billing type, which is fixed price. Go ahead and set a rate for the project. And so what this means is for any hours that we assign to the user, the rates that are defined in the billable hour and cost rate will be what is used against the scheduled hours for the project. Okay. You can also specify a billing cycle, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to move forward and show you how the hours allocated will calculate once we add some actions here. Hours scheduled. Oop, we'll do 10 hours and 10 hours non-billable. And assign an action owner and the start date. Start and end date. We're just going to do one action. Just want to show you this quickly. And then go to the details on the project. So according to these rates here, we have 10 hours billable, 10 hours non-billable from that action, which was a total of 20 hours. And according to the rates that we would find on the project, that would be 1,500 hours, $1,500 billable, and the scheduled value is at 2,000. That might not be right, so I'm going to force a recalculation since we've added the action. Just make sure that rate is right. I don't have my calculator out. All right, projects updated. Oh, so that must be right here already. Do you have any further questions on that? Awesome. All right. We have up to an hour, but if we don't have any more questions come into the chat or the QA, I will go ahead and get this Cosmo Campfire ended. All right, well, I thank you everyone for joining in. I really appreciate everyone joining in every month when we have these Cosmo Campfires. We will have someone joining us on an upcoming campfire, so get ready for that. And if you have any ideas on future campfires, please feel free to recommend them. We are more than happy to show you how to use the different features in mission control. Awesome. Thank you again for joining. Have a great day, everyone.